Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous video we saw that we can, with our Elasticsearch repositories that we enabled, we can create an index. So for example, we created an index for the person document that we had. This works, this is totally fine, but the problem with this is that we are not able to actually modify this index as we are creating it. For example, what we did last time is we created an index with a completely default mappings, with the completely default settings and whatnot. And this is not exactly what you want all the time. So you actually want to have control over how you create your index. For this reason, in this video, we're going to address this problem. So we're going to try to create a new service, which is going to be responsible for creating us our indices. So let's have a look how we can do that. In our service package, we're going to create a new service. So let's here create a new package first. Let's name it index. So it's going to be directly on the service. And inside of this index package, we're going to create a new service and we're going to name it index service. So within this index service, we need to inject the Elasticsearch client because we're going to be using that one to actually create our indices. Once we have this, we also need a way to find all of our documents. So we need some kind of service which can detect all of the documents so that we can extract the index from it. So if you look at our document here, so the person document, if you open this one up, you can see that it has this @document annotation. And within the @document annotation, it also has the name of the index that this document belongs to. So this is what we want. We want a service which is going to scan our application. And it's going to find all of the classes that have this annotation added to them. And then from this annotation, we're going to extract this property here. So let's expand here. Within our index package, let's create a new class. Let's name it index information or something like that. And let's make it a record. And what this one is going to have is it's going to have one property, which is string, and this will be the index name. So this is where we are going to collect all of our properties about the index. And for now, we just need the name. So within our index service, we need a new method here, which is going to return us a list of these new classes that we created. So the index info classes, and we are going to name it something like get index information. So the way this method is going to work is that we're going to have the class path scanning candidate, and with this scanner, we're going to add an include filter. And with this include filter, we're just going to say, okay, we want to scan for a certain annotation. So which in our case is this document one. So let's implement that. So we can start with saying here new class path scanning, blah, blah. Here we say false because we don't want to use the default filters, and we can create our scanner here. So with the scanner created, so we can make this final. We could actually say var here because this name is really too long. So with the scanner created, now we want to add an include filter. So you can say scanner that add include filter, and then you can say new annotation type filter. And now what this expects is a class or class of the annotation that you want to scan, and for us is the document one. So it's the this one here. So that's coming from the Spring Framework data Elasticsearch. So this is what we need. Great. And now what this does is able to scan for all of the classes which have this annotation, but you have to tell it where to scan. So you can say scanner dot and then find candidate components, and what this expects is a base package. We're just gonna use our read base here, but you can pinpoint it better. So if you wanna, I don't know, scan just the document package, you could also do that. So this would also work. Okay, so let's create here. So these are the bean definitions that we're gonna have. So this is what this is where all of the classes that have been found are located. So we can extract information from there. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna iterate over these definitions. So let's iterate over each definition. And now from the definitions themselves, we wanna extract the information. So the first thing is we wanna extract the index name, because this is what the only thing that we are interested in for now. So we can say class and then for name, and then we're gonna give the definition and then get bean class name. So this is gonna be the name of the bean that was scanned. So let's include it here, and this is going to be the document class. Okay, let's see what it's complaining about here. Okay, so there is some unhandled thing, so we need to surround this with try catch, and then let's make this one final. So this is our document class, and now from the document class itself we want to extract the annotation. So if we go here, we can say something like document class dot get annotation, and then you have to tell it which annotation it is. In our case, it's the document again, and then and then from this one we have the annotation itself. So that's the annotation, and then from the annotation we can get the index name. So this is the index name. So this is what we are interested in. Since we say, okay, we actually wanna collect this into a list, we're gonna do this thing a bit differently. So this was just an example how you're gonna do it, but what we're gonna do here is we're gonna convert this into a stream. So let's first extract some of these things. So here, let's say, how do we do this? Let's copy this pod, and if you press Ctrl Shift Alt T, it's going to open up this menu to refactor it. And if you have the option here, you use the extract method. And what we're going to do here is we're going to say get index name. So this is the method that we created, but you can see it's void, and that's because we are not returning here anything. So we can say return, and we're going to return the annotation index name. If you press Alt Enter now, and it's going to offer us to make this method return a string, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so we have that. This is where our index name is. So what we do now is we can say here, actually it would be better if we just copied this try catch also. So if we get rid of this part here, we can say that surround with try catch, and here let's just return null. We want to probably log something there, but let me just put this up, put it here, get rid of this because we don't want it really to be outside. We don't really interest that, so we want to return this, otherwise we return null. And now we don't need a try catch here, and we don't need that. So we have something like this, but what we can say instead of this, so if I comment it out, we can say bin definitions.stream. So we're going to use the Java Stream API here, and then we can say .map. So we're going to be mapping these bin definitions. So bin definition, and then get index name, and we provide a bin definition inside of it. We replace this with the reference, and then we can say actually filter, and then objects not null, because we are only interested in those that are not null, because here you might be returning null. And then we can say to list. So we're gonna collect this to list, and this is actually what we are returning here. Let's see what's it complaining about. Okay, so it's expecting okay, so it's expecting index info, but we are returning a list of strings. So we need to do another mapping. So let me put this down. Let's put this down. Let's put that down. And then here we introduce a new map, which is going to say, so index name, and we're going to say new index info. And then we just provide an index name here, or we can just replace this like that. And now everything should be good. I mean, this works for now because we are just scanning for the index name, but if we want to extract more information from this bin definition, we're gonna have to do this within this mapping. So within this method, so we're probably gonna have to modify it or something like this. We'll see about that once we are later in a later point when we need to do something like this. Okay, maybe one more thing, private a logger logger factory get logger for the index service class. Let's actually make this static. We're gonna just be nice and log any exceptions. Okay, what's it complaining about? Okay, we imported the wrong logger here, so let me fix that. So we're gonna say here log.error, and then we're gonna give in a message here. So we can say e.getMessage, and we also add the exception itself because we want to have the stack trace here also when this gets logged. But then we just return null in case that nothing was found. And let's make this one final. Okay, that looks good. That looks nice. So let's then create a constructor for our service where we just have the client, and let me just see. Okay, so this can be final. Then let's see what else do we need to do. So we have our client, we have all of our index information. So we have the index names, what we want to create. Now we need a method to create the indices. So let's create public void create indices, and the first things first is we're gonna get the index information. So we get our yeah, let's just name it index information, I don't know. If we do some checks, so if index information, or we can say collection utils is empty, index information we just return because we don't really want to do anything. So this would be the case if some exception happened, or if we have no documents at all. So if we don't have any class with the document annotation. Okay, but in most cases we're going to have that. So we're going to have some stuff. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to iterate through this index information. Great. Now that we're doing that, we can start to create our indices. But the first thing is first, it can happen that we already have an index. So before we can create it, we want to delete it. So we want to have something like delete index, where we provide the index info, index name, or we just provide the entire index info, it doesn't matter. And then we also have create, let's just call it delete and create. So I think this would be better. And then we also provide the index info here. So we need these two methods. Let's alt enter here and say create a method here. So, and then also let's create the create method also within this one. So we can then implement it. Great. Okay, let's implement the delete part. So what we can say is client.indices.delete, and now we need a delete request, which is just going to be this lambda, and we can say the index, and then you have to give it an index name, and in our case it's the index info index name. And we also have to surround this, we have to surround this with try catch, and again we just log an error. So let me just copy this part here so that we handle some exceptions in case we have them. And I think that's it. Yeah, this is it for the delete. Now we can implement the create method. Okay, let's give it a try. So we say client.indices.create, and then I think we can do it like this. So we can say c.index, again index info.index name. And I think if you want to give some additional stuff here, so like mappings or something like this, which is what we're going to be doing later, we can add it, which is exactly what we need. I think we don't need anything else here, so we can complete that. And then we surround this with try catch, and we also log the error. So I'm going to copy that from here and paste it in. And now we have it. I think we can make this final. Great. So we have our index service. It can create the indices for us. So we get it from all of the classes that have the document annotation, and then we iterate through them. We delete them first because we want to make sure we're clearing it out. And then we also have a create method here, which is going to create the indices for us. Okay, good. Now the only thing that we need is a way to trigger this, create indices method. So for this reason, we're going to go to our REST package. Here you can see we have controller, DTO, but these are all person related. So we're going to create a new package here. Let's name it person, and we're going to create another one, and we're going to name it index. And then the existing stuff, that was the controller and the DTO, we're going to move that into the person because this is related to the person document stuff. But then within the index is where we can create a new package, call it controller. And within this one, we're going to create a new index controller. Exactly. Cool. And this index controller is gonna be, so it's a REST controller and it has request mapping, something like API/index. I think this works. Then we're gonna have post mapping, public void create. We're not actually gonna pass in anything, it's just that. So there's no body here. We just have to inject our index service. So we can say private index service. Let's do that. Add it to the constructor, make it final. And then in the create, we can just say service.create indices. I think that's it. Okay, great. Now, we just have to try it out. So we need to start our Elasticsearch. We also have to start Kibana so we can actually verify the state of the index. And then we need to start our application also so that we can actually trigger this through some REST client like Postman and so on. So let's try it. Let's start those. Okay, so my application has started. I have Postman ready where I created a new request. So it's a post request to the endpoint which we added. If I execute this, you can see that I get 200. Now we can go to Kibana and check if we have the index. In Kibana, if we execute this request here to get all of the indices, you can see that we have the person index. But this could be that our request just didn't do anything and we still have it from the before. So in order to verify that our request, the one from Postman, is actually doing what we expect, we're going to delete this person index. So if I execute this, so to actually get the settings of the index, you can see that index is not found. And then I go to Postman and execute this again to create it. We actually get an exception. So let's see what's happening here. So the exception that we got is that our deletion of the index failed, but we are not catching it. So we're just going to change this to exception. So the try catches that we have. So for the delete and also for create, we're just going to catch these. So let's restart the application and check what's happening here. One other thing that we could do, maybe that would be better, is if we say here client indices and then exists. So there is also an exists query. So we can say a.index and then index.index name. And as far as I know, this is going to return us a Boolean response. And if exists value, so if this is true, actually, let's just say if it's false. So if the index doesn't exist, we just return. So this is a cleaner way of doing things. So let me just put this down. So if when we are, sorry, I mixed it up. So this is the create. Let me extract this and put it inside of delete. So inside of the delete method that we have, we are first going to check if the index exists. Or if it doesn't exist. So if it, so we're checking if it exists, which means that this is going to be true. And if it exists, we want to delete it. But if it does not exist, we just want to return and not do anything. So let's restart the application again. And then we're going to retry the request from Postman. So the application is now running. If I go back to Postman and I execute this, you can see that I get 200 OK. Now we have to go to Kibana and verify if the index is created. Back in Kibana, we can execute either this one to get all of the indices that we have. And you can see there is one for person. And if we execute the settings, we actually get some information about the person index, which means our thing works exactly how we expect it to work. Perfect. So that would be everything for this video. In the next one, we're going to expand on this and actually see how we can set some mappings to the index and actually maybe talk a bit about what the mappings are and how we're going to use them in the future. Okay, then I'll see you in the next one.